Greetings, YouTube. This video is going to seem obvious to most people, right? Like, it kind of reminds me of the few times I've covered on my channel over the years, people who allow some new hotshot who has a stacked roster. Maybe he's Thronebreaker and has a bunch of rank 3 6-stars, or at least, a ton of rank 2 6-stars or rank 5 5-stars. So you think that they're going to be amazing, and you jump the line between trust and honestly stupidity, and you make them an alliance leader or at least an officer, and they sabotage your whole alliance. Like that's happened a few times over the years. Well, this isn't like that intense, but it still is fairly obvious. If you did not know going into this, and everybody should know this now, if you are not Conqueror, if you are not at least level 40, and if you didn't create your account before the early part of November, you aren't going to be able to take part in gifting. And, honestly, that means a lot of alt accounts couldn't be part of gifting this year. They're going to have to wait till next year, and I've heard from several people that they're already excited about the 2022 gifting event because they know what the rules are now, and they're going to make sure that their account is at least at that progression. But some people still like to try to test the waters, and we know from experience that if you test Kabam's rules, not only will it end very poorly for you, but they won't think very kindly to you in terms of having some kind of grace or forgiveness. This brings us to the post by 314-159-2654, which says, do not send gifts to players under level 40. By the way, that also means don't send players or gifts to players who maybe are level 40 but aren't Conqueror yet, or maybe there's somehow new accounts that got to level 40 in the past couple weeks. So I have a mini account, level 29, just for fun, and this definitely puts the FU in fun, in a different alliance. An alliance mate gifted me a greater gifting crystal unexpectedly, which was very nice of them, especially since they know that I can't return the favor. Now, yes, 300 units, a nice gesture, but also something that just doesn't seem to have any kind of conclusion that would be a good one. Naturally, he was unable to claim the Greater Gifting Crystal, open a ticket with Kabam support. They confirmed that he was unable to collect it. Basically, those 300 units his alliance mate used are completely lost. It's like Thanos, snapped it. Hashtag too soon. It's illegal to take payment and not deliver goods, so I don't understand why Kabam allowed them to send me the gift in the first place. Well, I guess the coding of the gifting system has that flaw to it. But this kind of argument, I'm just going to be honest, like you can't walk up to, let's say, a restaurant and you've got a coupon and the coupon's expired. But the coupon says that you should get, like, say, a free hamburger. You know it's expired, but you say that you bought the hamburger, you should get it free anyway, and then you get an argument. Kind of a weird analogy in this case, but basically, just because something used to be the case, in this case, being able to gift any account of any level before this year's gifting event, doesn't mean that Kabam is going to think kindly on the new rules that are in place. So, here we go. And you know this is going to be an interesting post. If Grounded Wisdom, who I feel like is grounded because he's always on his knees for Kabam, enters the chat. I've posted this to Reddit as well, in case I get censored here. Support dismissed my issue without confirming that the gifter has been refunded. This is a serious fraud and breach of good faith. Very disappointed. Now again, I don't think, objectively speaking, and I'm no lawyer, he has much of a case because he knew the rules. Everybody should have known the rules, and they tried to get around those rules. It would make more sense, though, if Kabam said that Greater Gifting Crystal is going to remain invisible until this account achieves those rules for next year. But that also assumes that the system would hold a gift in an inbox for a year, and that's pretty unrealistic, especially for the Kabam servers. Grounded Wisdom. That's not fraud, nor is it illegal. The requirements of gifting were made known up front. Look, I hate saying this sentence as much as I've ever said any sentence on my channel, but he has a point. Yes, The system probably shouldn't allow you to even have the option to gift somebody that can't accept it. I get why that's frustrating, but you got to know the rules. They were sent out in everybody's in-game inbox, covered multiple times, including on the forums, of course. Let's see anybody else's perspective. Shouldn't have given the option to gift a player who was ineligible. So now we've got a little Grounded Wisdom versus Lucas Jones 98 back and forth. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Incorrect. This is indeed a clear breach of the business. I feel like this is way more interesting in the video than the actual post, right? Indeed, a clear breach of the Business Practices Consumer Protection Act. Oh, now that. Busting out the big guns, the big legal guns. Kabam accepted payment, 300 units, creating a contract and duty of care to complete that contract, but by refusing delivery, this constitutes fraud. The gifter needs to be refunded the purchase, but Kabam should not have accepted the transaction to begin with. You cannot expect Kabam, we know this company, to have closed all of their previous open gifting abilities this year. In a perfect world, that would be the case, but that is not the company that we often work with. The requirements of gifting were made, yes. Were there ever requirements for receiving? That sounds like some interesting relationship rules, too. Here we go. Units are a non-transferable in-game currency, and they belong to Kabam. Now, that is a less convincing argument by our man GW, because you do have to pay for units unless you grind for them. So they may not be a non-transferable in-game currency, but often you still spend cash to get that currency, as well as the accounts, the contents thereof, and the game itself. We have no propriety ownership therein. Listen, I appreciate that the gift could have been refunded to him, but calling it fraud and illegal is inaccurate. I think this post, more than anything, convinces me that Grounded Wisdom works for Kabam. In fact, I think we should just title this video that. I think it's the right season. I am convinced more than ever Grounded Wisdom works for Kabam. Now, that's not going to be a surprise to any of you who see this guy pop up. He is the Keebler elf of trolls. He basically makes all the cookies, but they're automatically expired. Also, for some reason, and this is random, but like the Human Torch profile pic, just even that feels a little douchey to me. Not that Human Torch is douchey, but he kind of looks like a failed member of NSYNC. I'm sorry, man. I don't think you're gonna get the units back, or your friend's gonna get the units back. But the back and forth, in which Grounded Wisdom did use the word "we," does bring me some pretty good insight. Let's see if there's any more Grounded Wisdom posts before we end this. Oh, here we go. If someone purchases units and receives those units, that's the end of the transaction. This is so fascinating. It's not Kabam. I'm speaking for myself. If someone purchases units and they receive said units, then the transaction has been completed. Gifts are not really refundable. Well, it's a different argument. Wow. Okay, this is getting into a real rabbit hole. Why don't I just post the link to this discussion thread in the comments, and you can read it for yourself and let me know what you think. I'm on vacation doing this video, and I must say, it's a crazy one. But then again, so is the world. Thanks for watching. I have to say, personally, I don't think this guy has a case. I think he's going to lose his units, but it's made it into a pretty interesting back and forth in the comment section. I might as well grab my popcorn because I am here for it. Merry Christmas week, everybody, to those who celebrate it. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day.